So there's been a debate that has recently taken MMA Twitter by storm, and that is Alex Pereira now higher on the GOAT list than Khabib Nurmagomedov? So this debate really kicked off after Alex Pereira made his third successful title defense this year at UFC 307 when he beat Khalil Rountree by stoppage in the fourth round. So today we're going to talk about this. Who is higher on the GOAT list, Alex Pereira or Khabib Nurmagomedov? And I'm going to give you the correct answer, my opinion. So let's run over a few things here quickly. I've seen people talk about this in the comment sections. I will not be including Alex Pereira's glory kickboxing career. That makes zero sense to his MMA career. Will not be including that. I also won't be including Alex Pereira and Khabib Nurmagomedov's fights outside of the UFC, purely because on the regional scene they beat a bunch of nobodies. Why would we waste our time talking about that? We're going to talk about the work they done in the UFC. So starting off with Khabib Nurmagomedov, the guy has a professional record of 29 wins, 0 losses. In terms of what he done in the UFC, the guy became a lightweight champion, defending the belt 3 times. I keep forgetting the fight against Conor. He was the champion going into that. But anyway, 3 successful title defenses. He went 13-0 in the UFC. The thing with Khabib, in my opinion, is I do think a lot of people underestimate what the guy actually done in the UFC. Not what he done, because his resume isn't great in terms of names on it, but Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of, if not the most dominant fighter we have ever seen in the UFC. This guy barely lost a round in there. He dominated his opponents. Now, in terms of resume, that there is what I think holds back Khabib Nurmagomedov. His resume and the fact that the guy retired when he was at the peak of his powers, which he did have a good reason to retire for. But again, he did cut his career short, and that's the big thing with Khabib Nurmagomedov. But in terms of good wins on his resume, you've got 5 at an absolute push, in my opinion. You've got Justin Gaethje, great win. Justin Gaethje was the interim lightweight champion going into that fight. After Justin Gaethje, beat Tony Ferguson in a fight that nobody predicted Justin Gaethje to win. Not only did he beat Tony Ferguson, he absolutely battered Tony Ferguson in there. One of the most brutal beatdowns in UFC history you'll see. He kicked the shit out of Tony Ferguson in there. Then you've got Dustin Poirier, again another great win, top 5 lightweight of all time in my opinion. Again was the interim lightweight champion going into that fight. He won the belt off Max Holloway, who was the featherweight champion at the time, moved up to challenge Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight title. That's a great win. Then you've got Conor McGregor. It's a good win. I'm thirsty. It's a good win, yes, but this was a Conor McGregor who was coming off the Floyd Mayweather loss. We hadn't seen McGregor in ages, but it is still a good win. Conor McGregor, former featherweight champion, former lightweight champion, first double champ in UFC history. It is still a good win, although not his best. Then you've got RDA, former lightweight champion, again, great win. And then the last one that you could maybe count, and that is Edson Barboza. I don't know if you just want to count that as a really, really impressive win. I think it is a good win. Edson Barboza is a legend of the game. Some of the names that guy's got on his resume, crazy. Those are Khabib's best wins. So you've got RDA, you've got Edson Barboza, if you allow him on there. You've got RDA. I'm not putting Al Quinta in there. Sorry. I don't think anybody should be putting that in there when you're trying to talk about how good Khabib's resume is. So you've got Edson Barboza, RDA, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Those are good wins, right? Plus, he went 13-0 in the UFC. Very impressive. The guy, like I said, arguably never really lost a round. He did lose 1 in the McGregor fight. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Where if you look at Alex Pereira, now this guy has a professional MMA record of 12 wins, 2 losses. The guy has had 10 fights in the UFC from 2021, right? So Alex Pereira is currently on a run that we have never seen before in the UFC's history. Never, ever, ever. No one has done what Alex Pereira has done, right? So, now, let's be honest when we're talking about Alex Pereira. This guy was fast-tracked to the title to fight Israel Adesanya. Fact. No one can deny that. Alex Pereira got better treatment than what Khabib did in the early stages of his career. Pereira was without a doubt fast-tracked by the UFC to fight Israel Adesanya for the title. Within his second UFC fight, he was fighting Bruno Silva, who actually has a pretty decent win, to be honest. We're not going to compare that when we're looking at Alex Pereira's resume, but for your second fight in the UFC, that is a good win. Then you have Sean Strickland. So in his third UFC fight, he went in there with top 8 ranked at the time, I'd say, Sean Strickland, and knocked the guy out in the first round, and that got him his matchup with Israel Adesanya. Yes, he was fast-tracked, but he kind of earned it in a way, if you know what I mean. I don't think beating Bruno Silva gets you an immediate top 10 ranked matchup, but they wanted to fast-track Alex Pereira. Bruno Silva, good win. Then, obviously, the Strickland, great win. Then that's when he faced Israel Adesanya for the first time in Madison Square Garden, and that is where he became middleweight champion, right? So he won the middleweight title. He then rematched Israel Adesanya and got beat, right? So obviously, comparing that to Khabib never lost a fight. Alex Pereira has lost 2 in his overall MMA career, but 1 in the UFC, and that was to Israel Adesanya when he got knocked out in the second round. Then after that, Alex Pereira moves up to light heavyweight. He beat Jan Blachowicz in a very close fight. Let's be honest, that was a very, very close fight. He then went on to beat Yuri Prochazka to become light heavyweight champion. This is whenever he went on that crazy run this year, beat Jamal Hill at UFC 300, round 1 KO, beat Yuri Prochazka at UFC 303, round 2 KO, and then most recently just beat Khalil Rountree at UFC 307 by 4th round KO. So, in terms of UFC's career, they both currently have 3 UFC title defenses. Obviously, Pereira is an active fighter and Khabib Nurmagomedov isn't. Alex Pereira is a 2-division UFC world champion, something that Khabib Nurmagomedov never done. The guy never moved up to fight in a different weight class. He solely fought in the lightweight division. And in terms of resumes, Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, and Khalil Rountree. Those are impressive wins, in my opinion. Really, really impressive. I personally think Alex Pereira does have the better resume. I really, really do believe that. I do believe Pereira has the better resume out of him versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, during this debate, title defenses have been brought up. So, an argument to be made is not all title defenses are the same, saying that Khabib Nurmagomedov's title defenses are better than what Alex Pereira's were, and talking about the styles of fighters that Alex Pereira has had to face on his way to defending the title versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, name value, in terms of name value, as in who's the bigger star, the bigger name, Khabib has beaten the bigger names. Outside of Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland, those are the only 2 not worldwide, but you know what I mean, big names on Alex Pereira's resume, whereas Khabib had Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, 3 big names. But comparing the styles of each fighter, both Alex Pereira and Khabib Nurmagomedov have had favourable matchups when they're defending their titles. Khabib Nurmagomedov never fought an elite grappler, not one throughout his career, not one when he was defending the title. Conor McGregor, pure striker. Dustin Poirier, pure striker. Justin Gaethje, pure striker. Not a single grappler was there for Khabib Nurmagomedov to face. Now, in fairness, those were the best guys in the division at the time. You can't, that's not Khabib Nurmagomedov's fault. He's not going to jump way down the rankings to fight a wrestler when these guys are supposedly meant to be the top 3 guys in the division. Then you look at Alex Pereira's. You've got Yuri Prochazka, striker. Jamal Hill, striker. Khalil Rountree, striker. Sean Strickland, striker. Israel Adesanya, striker. All favourable matchups for Alex Pereira as well. He also hasn't faced a grappler. So I don't really think that argument works. And outside of just saying, in terms of name value, Khabib has fought the bigger worldwide stars than what Alex Pereira has. But in terms of what those fighters offered as a challenge to both guys, it's the same thing. All of Alex Pereira's title defenses, all those opponents have played into his strong suit. Same with all the people that Khabib Nurmagomedov fought. They all played into his strong suit with not being the best of grapplers. So I think that kind of evens the playing field in terms of that argument. If that's made any sense, let me know in the comments below. But overall, in my opinion, Alex Pereira has to be above Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's currently tied him with title defenses. I think he's got the better resume. Plus, he's fought in multiple different UFC weight classes. He's a 2-division world champion. I think right now, Alex Pereira, and he's still going. Pereira is above Khabib Nurmagomedov all time, in my opinion. But let me know your opinion in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.